Hey guys, my name is Caitlin and welcome to my YouTube channel. This week I'm going to be doing a reading challenge. I just saw Bella on Throne of Pages do this. For every day this week, I'm going to be spinning a wheel with the numbers 1 through 10 on it. And depending on what number I land on, that's going to be the amount of hours a day that I read. Okay, so my wheel is ready and I'm actually really nervous about this. I actually work full time, so I really don't know what I'm gonna do if I have to read for like 8 hours on a work day. I'm screen recording, my sound is on, and we're just gonna spin. Thank God. I just got 2 hours, thank God. So we're starting on a good note. I only have to read today for 2 hours. And now I guess we could talk a little bit about my TBR. I'm not sure if I'll be able to finish either of these books this week. I guess it depends on how many hours total I read. But I'm currently reading 2 books. Both I'm absolutely loving. The first is The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexander Dumas. I'm currently 212 pages in and I'm absolutely loving it. I think I've read this for 2 hours today already, but I'm going to be switching between that and Ovid's Metamorphoses. I'm also loving this. So good. Both are 5-star predictions. Okay, I'm going to get to reading now. Today, I just finished my 2 hours of reading for the day. So this morning I started off with Metamorphoses by Ovid and I read book 4 and I was really excited to read this book because the story of Pyramus and Thisbe is in Shakespeare's A Midsummer Night's Dream. Also in book 4 is the story of Perseus, and we talk a little bit about Medusa. And I've just been having such a great time with this. Each story has some type of transformation in it. I love the descriptions in this book. I love the descriptions of nature. I love the fantastical elements of it. And then after about an hour, I switched over to The Count of Monte Cristo, which I'm also loving. I don't know what is in this book, but I just want to keep reading it and reading it. I don't want to spoil anything, but Dantes just made it back to Marseille and he just bought his old house and I think he's gonna set out to look for Mercedes. That's kind of what I'm expecting. Between these 2 books, I read about 70 pages today, so I think I'm realizing that I'm a slow reader because that's 70 pages in 120 minutes. So I think I'm a slow reader, which is fine. I don't know, I considered myself a fast reader, but what do I know? Anyway, before I go to bed for tonight, I do want to spin the wheel to see how many hours I have to read tomorrow so I can like kind of plan accordingly. Doing this worries me because I do work full time, so I don't know how I'm like supposed to read a book for a bunch of hours, but we started off really good with 2 hours, so hopefully this next spin isn't too bad. Okay, I'm starting to get really nervous. I feel like, for some reason, I feel like this is gonna be bad, but okay, I'm gonna spin now. I'm really nervous, actually. No, no. Literally, how am I supposed to do this? Like, my heart is beating right now. I had a feeling this was gonna happen. I really had a feeling before I was about to spin the wheel that this was gonna happen. I guess I'll see you guys bright and early tomorrow so I could start my 10 hours of reading. I don't know, maybe it's fine. Maybe it won't be as bad as I think. I just don't know if that's like logistically possible. No, it has to be possible. I'll be fine. We'll make it work. We'll do it together. It's gonna work. Everything is fine. Anyway, I will see you guys tomorrow for day 2. Hey guys, so it's now day 2 of my reading challenge. It's currently 10:19 in the morning and I'm a little over 3 hours in to my 10-hour reading challenge today, which is just so crazy to me. Earlier this morning, I read about an hour and a half of The Count of Monte Cristo, and I really didn't want to put it down, but my work day started, so now I've been listening to Finding Me by Viola Davis. So my game plan is to listen to probably the rest of this audiobook. I have 5 hours and 16 minutes left of Finding Me, and then after work switch back to The Count of Monte Cristo or Metamorphoses. But I'm really happy about the progress that I'm making on The Count of Monte Cristo because I was really behind. I was kind of in a reading slump last week, so I feel like I've really only started getting into the story a few days ago. I guess I'll come back when I have more of an update. As I said, I'm 3 hours in, so I have 7 hours left of reading. And yeah, that's where I'm at for right now. I'll catch you guys in a bit. Hey guys, so it is later today. It's almost 6 o'clock and I am 5 hours, 48 minutes, and 49 seconds into this reading challenge. Okay, honestly, it actually hasn't been that bad today. I started off this morning reading The Count of Monte Cristo, which I mentioned, and then I switched to Finding Me by Viola Davis on audiobook during work. I'm almost done with it actually. I have 2 hours left, but I think I'm gonna save the audiobook for tomorrow if I, get another long reading day and have to read during work. So I think I'm done with that today, but I'm really loving it so far. I feel like I'm saying that about all the books I'm reading. But this is like my first memoir, nonfiction in just a really long time. And I think the reason I like it so much is because it's Viola Davis narrating her own story. I really liked when she was talking about acting school and going to Juilliard and going to Broadway. It's just so exciting. For the rest of the night though, I think I'm just gonna read The Count of Monte Cristo. I'm so into this book right now. I'm 286 pages in. I feel like I start reading this book and I just lose track of time, which is kind of what I want. Based on this, I'm probably gonna be finished reading by 10:30 or 11 o'clock at night. And that's just like not really my vibe because I like to go to bed between 9 and 9:30. But my next update will probably be me finishing this 10-hour reading day challenge, which is just so insane. So I'll catch you guys in a bit. Guys, I just read for 10 hours. It's not even that I'm tired of reading, to be honest. I'm just tired. I read a bunch of The Count of Monte Cristo and then I switched over to Metamorphoses for probably like the last hour and a half because I just needed to switch it up. I'll do a more in-depth summary of what I read and where I'm at tomorrow morning because I'm just so tired. But I wanted to spin the wheel before I go to bed in like 5 seconds. I'm really nervous about this because I don't know if I can really have this happen again. I'm so tired. Okay. But I'm screen recording. Oh, thank God. Oh my God. Oh my God. It's only 1 hour. I really thought for a second it was gonna land on 10 again because I just figured why wouldn't it? But we only have 1 hour. Thank God, because I need to sleep in tomorrow and I need to wash my hair tomorrow night, so I don't have time for 10 hours. I will catch up with you guys tomorrow morning. Hey guys, so it is day 3 of today's reading challenge, and I actually already completed my 1 hour of reading today. Let me show you. Completed my hour of reading today. I read The Count of Monte Cristo. Before I spin the wheel for day 4, I just wanted to give you an update of where I'm at, because I really didn't give an update after my 10 hours of reading yesterday. I was so tired. I immediately fell asleep. I slept in today, but I've made really good progress. Currently, I'm on page 390 of The Count of Monte Cristo. I think yesterday morning I was in like the 260s, so I've read over 100 pages of this book, which is crazy. I was kind of confused a bit because we switched to Franz's perspective, and we also have Sinbad the sailor, who, although it hasn't been like directly stated, I feel like it's heavily implied that it is Dante's. But now we're in Italy. We're about to see a public execution. I also met Luigi, and I'm just kind of confused as to where this is going now, but I guess I'll find out. And then I made some good progress with Ovid's Metamorphoses. Last night I finished book 5, and I didn't realize, but like Hades and Persephone's story was in there. We also had more of Perseus. I was like so tired when I read it. I just remember it started with this huge like brawl, and I was like, what is going on? And there are so many like violent descriptions in here, and it just kind of caught me off guard. Now I'm on book 6. This is where I stopped yesterday. I read the story of Niobe, and she was just like being really jealous and all that, but I'm still enjoying this. I love the myths. I love how Ovid describes things. I actually took a picture of a page in this book because I didn't have a pen with me. I wanted to just read out to you guys to just show you what I'm talking about when I say I love how Ovid describes things. This was from book 5, page 197, if you have this edition. Sicily's worldwide fame as a fertile country was ruined and given the lie. As the first shoot sprang from the earth, they would perish at once, destroyed by the scorching sunshine or torrents of rain. Stars and the winds had a baleful influence. Birds would greedily gobble the seed as it fell on the soil, while the harvest of wheat was choked by the thistle and tares and the indestructible twitch grass. I don't know what it is about it. I just love it. I love it so much. That's how that's going. I've read a considerable amount. I'm also on the last chapter of Finding Me by Viola Davis. I was actually just listening to this even though I already completed my hour. I'm just so immersed in every book that I'm reading, which is really what I wanted to get out of this challenge. So now I want to spin the wheel to see how many hours I have tomorrow. And I feel like I keep saying this, but I'm really nervous about this because I need to go into the office tomorrow, so I can't really be listening to an audiobook for 8 hours straight, but who knows, maybe it'll be fine. Okay, so I'm screen recording, my sound is on, and let's see what happens. Okay, we're spinning. I feel like I can look at it now. Are you kidding me? Like, this is so messed up. Like, why couldn't I have 9 hours today when I have the time? Like, I'm kind of in shock. I really just don't know how I'm supposed to read for 9 hours tomorrow. Part of me expected it because I had it so easy today and the first day, and I'm going into the office tomorrow, so like I have less personal time to be reading. I feel like I'm gonna have to wake up at like 4 in the morning and start reading. Like, I really don't know what to do. Oh gosh, I really don't know how I'm gonna do this. Well, I guess I'm gonna mentally prepare and physically prepare for what I need to do. I will see you guys at at some point because I need to process this and kind of plan out how I'm gonna do this. So maybe when I have a plan, I'll be back. Good morning, guys. So it is now day 4 of my reading challenge. I have 9 hours of reading to do today. It's just past 7:30 and I've already done 2 hours of reading. I'm pretty much just gonna be doing audiobook reading today because I have to go into the office. So this morning I finished Viola Davis's Finding Me, which I loved. I gave it 4 stars, but if I keep thinking about it, I might bump it up to 5. I'm not sure. It was just really good. And then I just started the Gulag Archipelago by Alexander Solzhenitsyn. I decided to pick this because I've had this book on my TBR for about a year now. I actually do have a physical copy, but it's like 600 or 700 pages and the audiobook itself is like 25 hours and I don't have a plan to get to the physical book soon, so I thought I'd just listen to the audiobook. I currently am like 40 minutes into chapter 1. I have 25 hours and 9 minutes left, so I don't think I'll finish it in this challenge, but yeah, that's what I'll pretty much be reading today while I'm at the office. I'll check back later when I come home. Hey guys, so it is later on day 4 and I failed my reading challenge. I'm so upset. I just cannot do 9 hours in one day and it is now 8 o'clock. I've currently read 4 out of the 8 hours, so I can't fit 5 hours into today. There's just not enough hours in the day. Yeah, I guess I failed this challenge and I'm sorry. I'm still probably gonna read a little bit tonight before I go to bed, but not 5 hours worth. But I did want to give you guys a little bit of a reading update. So I mentioned this morning that I finished Viola Davis's Finding Me. Absolutely loved it. I did start reading the Gulag Archipelago by Alexander Solzhenitsyn, and I feel like I really need to restart chapter 2 just because like I could not focus on all these words, all these names, all these places while I was working. I did read chapter 2 and like I actually understood what was happening, and it was all about how arrests were working at that time, and I thought it was so interesting. Like the story really grabbed me and hooked me. So I do want to continue this and I am going to continue it. I don't know if I should switch to the book or like keep listening to the audiobook because I don't really love the narrator. I'll be honest, like the audio isn't super clear, but there are a lot of like unfamiliar names and places that I feel like it might be easier for me to read it. Although I really do not want to pick up a 3rd giant book right now because I'm still reading The Count of Monte Cristo and Metamorphoses. I might just continue listening to it on audiobook and see how it goes. But even though I failed on day 4, which I am so sorry about, and I'm kind of upset about it myself, I was really proud of myself for how far I was able to get with this challenge, especially reading 10 hours on a work day. I think if I was at home, I would have been able to complete the 9 hours just because like, you know, obviously if you're in the office, like you're with coworkers, you're talking to people, like you're not just sitting with your earbuds in, like listening to an audiobook. So whatever, it's fine. I need to let go of it. But I am going to continue this reading challenge for day 5. So I am gonna spin the wheel one more time. Let's hope it's not too bad. Although since I failed, I feel like I should get another 9 or 10, but I guess we'll see. Tomorrow is Saturday, so I will have some time to actually just read and enjoy. I'm screen recording, the sound is on, and let's spin the wheel. Like, I couldn't get 3 hours today. Are you kidding me? Yeah, 3 hours, that is so doable. I will see you guys in the morning when I start reading again. Hey guys, so I finished the reading challenge. I finished my 3 hours of reading for today. Altogether this week I read for 20 hours and I'm kind of gonna break down what I read. So in these 20 hours, I only finished one book, and that is Finding Me by Viola Davis. I listened to that on audiobook and I loved it. It was so heartbreaking but funny. I love the audiobook because Viola Davis narrated it herself. I feel like if you're gonna pick this book up, I would definitely do the audiobook just because I think her narrating it adds so much personality that you wouldn't get if you were just reading the book. I think when I started this challenge, I was just starting chapter 7. So I read 9 chapters of her book. I'm not sure what that is in pages just because I don't have a copy. And then the second book that I read the most of is The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexandre Dumas. I'm absolutely in love with this book. I feel like if on those longer reading days I didn't have to work, I would have read so much more of this. However, I did read 296 pages of this book this week, which is actually insane. Right now I'm on page 481, which is the chapter Monsieur Bertuccio. I'm having so much fun with this. I think the last update I gave, we were in Rome with Franz and Albert. I was kind of confused on where this story is going, but this book, I think it's just so good because there are no loopholes. Like, everything connects, everything is written for a reason, and it's so fast paced. Like, even though this is a classic, it's not super philosophical or religious where, you know, in like a Dostoevsky book, you kind of need to pace yourself and read it slowly so you can just understand and comprehend the story. But with this, I feel like you don't really need to do that. Like, it's just fun. There is some history in here, of course. You know, this was written in the 1800s, so things are different than they are now, but it's really easy to follow. It's such a fun and fast read. Can't wait to continue this. I feel like I'm gonna be upset when it ends because even though I'm almost 500 pages in, I just want it to keep going. Next is Ovid's Metamorphoses. So I kind of stopped reading this because I wanted to keep reading Count of Monte Cristo, but this is really good and fun as well. So from Ovid's Metamorphoses, I've read 96 pages. That's about 2 books. I'm in the middle of book 6. And I am enjoying it. I'm finding it a little hard to follow with all of the names, all the different gods, demigods, people in general. However, the descriptions in here are so beautiful. I love how this is written. It is very fun and magical. But also, I think another reason why I stopped reading is just how women were treated back then. I understand that's how it was, and in a lot of works, especially really old ones, women are not going to be treated as people all the time. But it does kind of pull me out of the story and ruin my enjoyment a little bit of it. I am going to keep going with it. I think this has inspired so much classic literature. Even in The Count of Monte Cristo, they reference gods and mythologies that are in Metamorphoses. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with Metamorphoses. I am going to continue it. I'm just loving The Count of Monte Cristo right now. After I finished Finding Me on audiobook, I started The Gulag Archipelago by Alexander Solzhenitsyn. I started this because this has been on my TBR for so long, and I needed another audiobook to listen to while I was at work. I did finish chapter 1, which was 23 pages. I finished that on audiobook and I really liked it, but I don't think this is gonna be an audiobook I continue with. I think I just have to read the physical copy because when I find the audiobook narrator's voice so boring and monotonous, I just can't listen to it and like stay engaged. There's so many different names of people and places that it's hard to follow, and I think it's just something that I need to read because I want to give this my full attention. I'm not sure when I'm gonna get to this, but I really did enjoy chapter 1. I was able to focus on that chapter for the most part, and it made me more interested in this book. So I guess I'll see when I get to it. Even though I kind of failed the reading challenge yesterday by not reading the full 9 hours, I still wanted to complete it. So I read for 20 total hours and I read 388 pages, and that's not counting Finding Me by Viola Davis because I wasn't sure how to figure out the page count on that, but I did read 9 chapters. I think if I do a reading challenge again, I should plan it better. But that is the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching if you stayed to the end of this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.